Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler review series videos I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, ow, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. No, I suddenly haven't become incredibly weak, but it's just cold. My hands were cold, so when I did the snap, ugh, little extra zing on that. But anyway, folks, it's a super simple format. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm gonna yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck, and whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. So what super cool shirt am I wearing today? Well, folks, it's got some stuff on it. Boom! It's my Above Snake shirt. Which, if you are unfamiliar with the excellent band Above Snakes, so was I up until a few months ago at the time I'm doing this. They were on tour with a band that I love called Killer's Confession. They were one of the touring bands. I might have seen them once before, like a few years earlier, and just for whatever reason didn't jot them down in my head at the time. But these guys came out. They were really fucking cool. I enjoyed their set. Definitely sort of, kind of that new metal style vibe. I think I was talking with the lead singer a little bit. They kind of have almost like Dope vibes, which is another new metal band. I really enjoyed these guys. Really nice folks. I got some videos of their performances. Those videos are also on the channel, just in case you want to check it out. Or, if you want to just check out their music in general, I'll gladly point you in the right direction, even though it's not that hard to get to. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Again, it's super cold. So, of course, with it being super cold, any sane person would go over there and review a boom super cold drink. Because, yes, it was in my fridge, damn it, and I needed to get to it. Can I get a thing? Can I get a thing? Maybe? Ha 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 ha! Sure. What the fuck is this? It's Limca, or Limca? I'm gonna go with Limca, because one would assume. This is a lemon and lemoni. I can read, it's just, yeah. Carbonated water, lime, and lemon flavor, quality product of the Coca-Cola Company. It's Indian lemon lime soda. Functionally, that's what it is. So yeah, I went over there a couple weeks ago. I was out and about, and I ended up at a little Indian grocery store. And I love going to Indian grocery stores because they've got all kinds of stuff that I've never heard of. And when I saw they had a lemon lime soda, I was like, sure, man, that sounds like some stuff I'll do. I like lemon lime sodas. I've reviewed some lemon lime sodas. Did Bubble Up. I did a comparison video between Sprite and 7-Up. I've done a couple, actually. Did the tropical version of both of those, and then I also did the cherry version of both of those. So, let's see how India does it, even though it's made by Coca-Cola. So, there's no way my fingers are going to be able to do that right now. Like I said, it's very cold out right now in Illinois. We were at negative 10 last night, which was fun to sleep through. Open. There we go. Ooh. That has a different smell than I was expecting. All right. Okay. Okay. I have a pretty good idea what they did with this. So, I was like a little bit worried that it was basically just going to be like 7-Up or more likely Sprite, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think Sprite is a Coca-Cola product, and it also happens to be the leading lemon lime soda pretty much in the entire world. So, I kind of was like, is that just going to be what they're going to do with this? It's just going to be a rebrand? The answer is almost, but not quite. It definitely has a Sprite aspect to it. Definitely has a Sprite aspect to it. When I first started drinking it, my brain was like, this is familiar. And then it was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I know this flavor. But then it went to some interesting places. So it's definitely not just a straight rebrand, and I'm not surprised. If you've never had like Indian like sodas and stuff, and I'm not going to say across the board, but certainly the vast majority of the ones that I've had, they like to add in their own little something something to it, which I personally think is awesome. It just gives you greater variety. So you get like kind of like added spices and flavors that you wouldn't normally get with like a Western specific version. Because like right off the bat, it has a different kind of immediate punch than a Sprite does, but then it kind of dials that back a little bit, and you do get kind of a Sprite aspect. It definitely has like a very kind of clean and crisp sort of, Sprite taste to it. Not one for one or anything, but it's familiar. But after just a little bit, it kicks off into this very interesting flavor spectrum that, again, you ain't going to get from an American Sprite. I like this. This is cool. Yeah. It's doing, again, it's similar. My brain is definitely like, yeah, no, I've had something like this. But at the same time, it's also completely different. Like, that's really neat. There's definitely, I would say, I think the lemon ratio maybe is a little bit higher in this than in like a standard like Sprite or 7 Up. I feel like the lemon might, because I'm getting, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe. Like, I'm getting a little bit more of like a kind of citrusy hit. Not in an acidic way or anything, but I don't know. It's interesting, like the way they decided to highlight the features of it. It's nice and crisp. Again, working off the fact that, it's a Coca-Cola product, probably at least somewhat similar to Sprite. One of the reasons why I'm a big fan of Sprite, I like how crisp it is. And that's definitely the case here. Those final flavors, man, like, it adds in like kind of almost a little bit of a kind of spice tinged bitterness. Like, and mind you, it's not like a spicy drink. I'm not trying to, when I say spices, but I mean just like the flavorings and stuff. It has like a spice aspect to it. It doesn't, as far as I understand, I think this thing is pretty much all just, artificial flavoring and stuff. It doesn't have any like juices or anything. But yeah, flavoring substances, yeah. But yeah, there's like a really interesting aspect to it at the end. That's just, it's not like anything that you would have had in like in a Western soda. It's really interesting. I like this a lot, man. It's got a lot going on. There's like two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes, sort of. So here's the thing with this. I like it. I like it because it's interesting. There's a lot going on. I like lemon lime sodas in general. So, there was a good likelihood I was going to enjoy it. But I appreciate the fact that there's a lot of moving parts to it. Like, again, it is somewhat familiar, from a Sprite aspect. But it's also just doing all these things that, like, I'm not expecting from, a lemon lime soda. I can genuinely say I've never had a lemon lime soda that tastes quite like this. And it definitely has that little bit of Indian style, a little bit of that Indian flair that I've become used to from, again, just, my previous experience with Indian sodas. But I like it. It's really cool. It's crisp. It's tasty. And, in a world where, as much as I do like Sprite more than I like 7 Up, there's no denying that they're somewhat similar products. This is definitely a very different take on things. As much as, again, it does borrow from Sprite, it's just the way the flavors work. I like it, personally. Now, would it go over there and replace Sprite as, like, my favorite lemon lime drink? No. Would it even replace, like, 7 Up in its slot? No, not realistically. This would be more of an occasional thing for me. I don't think I would go over there, like, because when I want a Sprite, man, I want a Sprite, and I could go for a Sprite pretty much whenever. It's delicious. This would be a little bit more, if I was specifically in the mood for it. But if I was specifically in the mood for it, it's the only thing I would want. Now, if I'm recommending it, I mean, first of all, you have to find, Indian grocery market or import it or something. Most people, no, probably not. I don't think most people would be down with it because I think it's just a little bit too offbeat from, again, what kind of the normal American style, sodas would be. But I think that if you're somebody who you're a little bit more adventurous, you like different types of soda and stuff, I definitely say try this one out because it's really cool and neat. And, if you run into it, I'd say give it a shot. Anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go out there, have yourselves a truly, why is it so cold-tastic rest of your life? I like the cold, man, but we got a stretch of days of negative numbers, and even for me, that's just no. I'll do 20s, I'll do 30s, I'm good with that, I can live with that. Once you start getting into the 10s, I'm like, ugh, and then once you get past 0, ugh. But anyway. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you can do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Folks, life can be stressful and frustrating and bullshit, especially when you got negative degree weathers to, contend with. And mind you, of course, there's parts of the world that would just be laughing their ass off at, it's like, ha, 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 ha. And it's like, I know. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you've never partaken in any Indian drinks or sodas. I would encourage you, if, again, you have a little bit more of that adventurous spirit in you, give them a go. They're not for everybody. Long before I was doing the Sampler Platter show, back when I was just drinking stuff to drink stuff, I did go over there and I tried some type of Indian soda, and it was one of the weirdest things I've ever tried to consume, and I wasn't very into it. And it kind of freaked me out a little bit from the Indian soda stuff. But as the years have gone by, I've, ventured out and tried other ones and stuff, But they're so cool and neat. Their whole soda, style is different from any other place on the planet, and I think that's really cool. Or, you don't have to if you don't want to. Just do what you want. Just stay warm. Do it. Stay warm. It's cold. Bye.